Hi, for those that don't know, my name is Mitama and welcome to my channel. I Today's video is going to be about my experience with going through a broken engagement. This is something that I have written about. It's something that I have shared about how I was engaged before and it didn't work out. So the last time that I talked about it, I had lots of people lots of ladies especially, that messaged me and said, how did you get through it? Asked me how I got through it, and how where did I get the courage to be able to say, I can't do this anymore. So I'll just give you a bit of a background. You know, First and foremost, I'm not going to talk about like the ins and outs of what happened, because I think that's, at this point, it's so long ago, it's not relevant. But um I remember that I was 21. I think 20, yeah, I was 21 or thereabouts, I think so. And I know that I knew that, like, I wanted to get married, but I also knew that in order for me to get married that young, I wanted to be happy. Like, it had to be an extravagant romance that would make me make such a decision. That I knew in my heart of hearts that if I was going to get married at the time, a guy had to really love me out of this world in order to make me say yes. It had to be extraordinary to make me say yes at that age. But looking at the situation the way it was, I felt that it wasn't extraordinary. It wasn't extraordinary. But I said yes. I convinced myself that that was the best there was out there, that was the best that I could ever get. And so I said yes. But when the time came for me to break up the engagement, one of the things that made me make my decision was weighing if the person was kind to me. Kindness is very important to me. So I kept playing it over and over in my head, like, if this person is not kind to me now, how are they going to be kind to me when I've said yes to being married to them, when I'm actually married to them? I was so stressed out, and it just didn't seem like that's how you're supposed to start out in marriage. And I do, for me, take responsibility for that decision. I don't think I can blame anybody for forcing me into that. I said yes, so I agreed to it. Now, because I agreed, I had to take responsibility for also coming out of it. Now I'll tell you, one of the challenges that I faced was people talking. I had a lot of people that were against me breaking off the engagement. I had friends that stopped being my friends. I had friends that took sides. I had family members that acted strange. They didn't want me to. They didn't understand. They thought I was being spoiled. You know. Um, but I was very lucky. My mom and my dad were very supportive of me. Very supportive. It was the best support system I could have ever asked for. And I remember what gave me the courage to make the decision was, I came into the country and I was in the house. My mom was traveling. She was in France for work, or Germany, I can't remember, but she was working anyway. So I came home the day before, then she came the day after me. She walked into the house and she saw me at the door and she knew that something was not okay, and then she asked me and said, "What's wrong?" And I was like, "Nothing. What do you mean, what's wrong?" And she said, "No, it's okay. Whatever it is, you can tell me." I'd never complained to her about how I wasn't happy. I'd never complained to her about anything. I never shared anything with her about the challenges that I was having. So anyway, she told me, "Okay, let's go upstairs. We're gonna talk." That's how we went upstairs, and I just told her that I don't want to get married. I'm sorry. I don't want to do it. So Yeah, so after I had told her that, she just said, you know what, don't worry about it. These things happen. I understand. I know that we've paid money towards this wedding. We have put deposits and things like that. And because and I think this was particularly challenging for my parents because they had actually paid a deposit towards the wedding venue. So I kept thinking about all this, like money has been put into this, plans have been made, people were about to buy air tickets. So I had all this pressure. But once I told my mom and she said it was okay and that she would take care of it and talk to the elders, it kind of made me feel okay. The only challenge I had was to tell the person that I wasn't going to do it. But then having told them, I think then everybody heard about it. And yeah, that's how I ended up losing friends and distancing myself from some family members because they just didn't understand it. They didn't agree. And I remember one of them asking me, like, what are you looking for? You know? Because I guess to them, that person it couldn't get better. But I thought that it could. And I didn't have it in me to start justifying myself and explaining myself. So I was hurt. I knew that in order for me to stick to my decision and not go back, I needed to keep a distance between me and anyone that felt that I was making the wrong decisions. That's number one. Um, if you are going to get over like such an intense experience, such an intense, I don't know, such an intense separation from someone, because I think it's a big deal to consider being married to someone and then to change your mind. But if you're gonna get yourself out of that situation, I think you need to have a mental toughness. There's a mental toughness that you need to have that no one can give you. No matter how much support you have, no matter who's on your side, no matter um, who agrees with you, at the end of the day, it has to be your decision. That you need to know that this, in your heart of hearts, you can't live with this decision. So you can decide to walk away. Because once you do, it's not that you will not have second thoughts to think, oh, maybe I should have just stayed, or maybe I should have just settled. But if you're convinced that you're making the right decision and you know in your heart you have peace, then you need to have a mental toughness, as well as have those people who are supporting you, like find champions for that decision, people who encourage you in the moments where you feel weak. It's very important. For me, that's what I had. And then the other thing, like after having dealt with like people that walked away from me and distancing myself from people that would discourage me, is I had people in my life who, when people tried to bully me because of that decision, they would stand up for me. you know there's a lot that I never got to say. Like I became okay with people not hearing my side of the story. Part of that was just because I didn't care. I was moving on, and I wanted to experience what was out there. And you know and so the other part was that I had people in my life who were defending me, who were speaking on my behalf. Now I don't think that you have to onboard people into doing that for you. If there's nobody to do that for you, it's okay. All you need to convince is yourself, because at the end of the day, making a decision to get married to someone means you are the one who's going to be married. You are the one who's going to be living with that person. And I can tell you for a fact, now that I am married, you have to be sure, you have to make the decision for yourself, and not for people. You have to make sure that it's a decision that you can live with. So if you're not sure about a person, you need to, I guess as they say, man up and be able to walk away. So yeah, I guess for me that's what I did. Having champions, people to defend me, that really helped, because then I didn't have to do it, and I thank God that I didn't have to. I think that even if I didn't have those people, I still wouldn't have said anything, because the way my situation was is that I didn't feel the need to. It was okay. The number one thing I believe that saved me, because a huge part of me felt like I was in the fight for my life after that decision. It's not something that I just woke up and thought, I'm gonna walk away from this. This is just no. It took me a long time, but I feel like I was emotionally bruised. I was battered in, I don't know, in every way possible. I was not okay. I was a wounded person. And because of that, I used to cry to God. I used to cry and pray. Every day I would read the Bible, I would take it and dissect it and just say, Lord, this is what your word says about me. And I'm not seeing it right now. I need you to help me, And yeah, so I really prayed about things. I prayed for myself more than anything. I prayed for myself, and I prayed that I would stop being angry. I would stop feeling like anyone owed me love, or I would stop feeling like anyone owed me good treatment, And I started to pray for something, for God to show me something better, because I was accustomed to a relationship like that. So I thought that I was having a hard time letting go, because I thought that was the best there could ever be, you know. But I was praying that God would free me from that mindset and release me into something new that He has for me. So, yeah, I did a lot of praying. I dedicated my life to serving. I dedicated my life to writing. I dedicated my life to blogging. I started writing a lot more, pouring my heart out. That was a source of healing for me. So you need to find out your source of healing. Take your time, spend a lot of time on your own, spend a lot of time reading, thinking. Separate yourself from those things that will cause you to doubt your decision. Separate yourself from those people that will cause you to doubt your decision. I understand that as people nowadays, we have a lot of pressure. We all want to be married. We want to be attached to someone, and more than that, there are people around us who want us to be married, whether it's our parents, our relatives, our friends. They have put this pressure on us that we don't even want to participate in, but it's there. So for me, my advice is, as you're making your decision, understand that it's your decision alone. It's a decision that you have to walk boldly in. You have to walk with confidence in that decision, because you have to live with it. Even if you decided to stay, you also need to be confident with that decision, because you're the one who's going to be married to a person who treats you terrible. You're the one who's going to be married to a person who disrespects you. You're the one who's going to be married to a person who doesn't honor you. So it's your decision. If you choose that, you have to live with it. Not everyone championing you, not everyone surrounding you. So for me, that was my way of dealing with it, and I hope that this has been encouraging. The most important takeaway from today's video is pray for yourself. Make sure that you have peace. If you're going to walk away from it, make sure that you have peace. And if you do have peace, I'm not saying that it's going to be easy. It's going to be hard. It's going to be hard to let go of something that you've been in for some time, because I don't know, you might have been in the relationship for a long time, like I was for a couple of years. So it's not something small, but it's okay. It's okay to walk away. Marriage is a big deal. You should be selfish with your heart. You should be selfish with your life. Give it to a person who deserves it. Give it to a person who has earned it. And you want to be getting into marriage from a place of health and wholeness. And I knew, for me anyway, I wasn't there. So I didn't. I said no. Yeah, I hope that it's been helpful. And if anyone feels that they still want to talk about it, and you still have any more questions, you are free to message me. You're free to leave a comment down below. I'm happy to have a conversation. But I know for a fact that for me, that was my journey. Your journey is going to be different, because the reasons you're leaving are going to be different. The two most important things that you need are, you need to be sure of your decision. And once you're sure, you need to walk boldly in it, no matter the obstacles that you face, whether it's from family, from yourself, or from your friends, or just the environment around. And then you need to have a support system, whether you're gonna be depending on God to strengthen you, gonna be depending on God to encourage you, You need that. You need something that you can cling on, that will help you hold on as you are getting through that, because that's not your life. You're not sentenced to that misery. It passes, you know. Even people, they can have strong opinions in the beginning, but eventually they'll lose interest and move on to something else and somebody else. You just have to hang in there for yourself, because this is about you, this is about your life. You matter, you know, and you deserve an extraordinary love. And if it's not extraordinary, then you shouldn't be in it. So yeah, thank you for watching my video, and I'll see you next time.